Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining. Welcome to our Open Up Show. This is 149th. Thank you, everyone, first of all, for your continuous support, and also please continue your support, and thank you for watching. Today we have amazing guest. Before I bring our guest, I want to go through a couple of things with you. My name is Sivam Velautham, and I am the founder and the president at Velautham 360. Velautham 360 is a non-profit organization founded in 2020 and is based in London, Ontario, Canada. Velautham 360 was born out of seeing a tremendous need and stepping up to provide services to help support and overcome men and boys' life challenges. We are part of International Men's Day. International Men's Day has been serving for over 24 years, and so far 90 countries around the world join together and doing various activities regularly. IMD follows 6 pillars, which is the overall well-being of boys and men. We follow in the same footsteps. Why open up? Men, because men we do not open their hearts or and not willing to share our matters with anyone. When we keep our emotional challenges within themselves or ourselves for a longer time, at some point they will explode and it will affect our health conditions in many ways. That is why we want to create an open space and allow an individual to share their life journey through our platform. We aim to create awareness about the life challenges, struggles, overcome ups and downs that our boys and men go through in their lives. There are no limitations with gender, age, nationality, or ethnic groups in sharing your life journey. All walks of life can participate. Our goal is to make a positive impact on someone's life through this program. Open Up is on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We bring an individual to each show, let them share their life experiences with you. Before I introduce to you, I want to go through our disclaimer. Velautham 360, we would like to remind you that Velautham 360's mission is always delivered with good faith toward peaceful harmony. The views and opinions expressed in today's episode are those of our speakers, do not represent Velautham 360. Our organization engages in discussion forums to offer inspiration and create awareness of the issues of men who wish to overcome their life challenges. We are not providing medical or therapeutic advice. Should you require that type of assistance, we recommend you contact a medical professional immediately. If you have a question or concern about today's episode or any Velautham 360 content, please email us at info@velautham360.org. Now, we have amazing guest. Like I told you earlier, our guest name is Rima Sehgal. Rima Sehgal is a highly dedicated mental health professional with over 27 years of experience. She is a registered psychotherapist in Ontario, Canada, and a registered psychologist in India with Ph.D. from the University of Delhi and bridging program from Seneca College. She offers a wealth expertise. Rima was honored with the prestigious Fulbright Award for Counseling in 2013, gaining international exposure to best practices in the field. She excels in various therapeutic modalities, including CBT, EFT, SSB, solution-focused therapy, and mindfulness-based therapy. Rima has a strong background in working with youth and families in educational institutions, emphasizing the power of prevention. She has authored a book on Saturday study habits and contributes columns on smart parenting in Women's Magazine. She's a sought after speaker and panelist on TV channels and has published academic papers. She's the founder of TherapySupports, a platform dedicated to client-centered mental health services for individuals, educational institutions, and corporations. Welcome, Rima.
Thank you. Thank you, Sivam. Thank you.
Thank you for joining. Actually, it is a great pleasure to be with you. So, I really want to go back a little bit early. I would say maybe childhood or a little bit more than that. Uh, but anyway, the turning point or wherever the influence or inspiration, how did you start? Why you want to become the profession you are in?
Uh-huh. Well, it'll surprise you today when you look at my education and the credentials. But I was, as a school student, a very average, in fact, I'll say a below average student academically. And it was in grade 11 that I was first introduced to psychology. And as I started to study, and my regards and respect to my teacher, psychology teacher, Mrs. Kocher, in my grade 11, who sort of taught it in such an interesting way. And the subject I just fell in love with psychology in grade 11, and I realized by grade 12 that if I have to go ahead for my higher studies, which I was sure I will, it has to be psychology, because that was the first time I started enjoying studies. So that was the first thing. And then came my experience of undergrad with the psychology honors. And there I met amazing teachers. And I'm still in touch with many of them after decades of passing out. And one of them, very, very proud to say, Dr. Renu Kishore, is so close. She's like a mother even now. And the other most inspiring person that I met in my master's was Professor Aruna Bruta. So she taught us clinical psychology, and that's where the attraction towards being a clinician, pursuing counseling or therapy, that is the beginning of the inspiring journey. So I'm so blessed, that in grade 11 I could make a career choice, and after decades I don't regret it even today. I mean, that's the best thing, one of the best things that could happen in life.
Absolutely, I can sense that it can be teachers or the books or even sometimes parents or outside influence or inspiration. So, in your case, the teachers after one after another, it's inspired you so much, and I'm also kind of interesting to see a lot of people nowadays is to learn about human behavior and things like that. It's good. It's good. Let's move on you a little bit further. Between your father and the daughter relationship, can you share a little bit some memories, whatever you learned from him? Since we are talking about a men's platform, or men's father is most important thing in our life. So, can we hear some?
I think a lot of the values that I have today, uh, they do come from him. And my mom would often joke, like, you are like your father, just getting into newspaper or watching television news or interested about the worldly affairs and things like that. So my father was like, at that time most men were, but he was pretty strict. So it's a mix of a relationship that we had. Later in life, of course, he was very proud of me to see me doing so well in my profession, and very proud of me as a psychologist. But initially, when I was a child, I was more scared of him. He didn't have many reasons to be strict with me, but he was generally a moody and strict. The father's word is the final. That sort of relationship initially. But because I was a well-behaved uh, child, so he never had problems. And gradually, by the time I was teenager, he could trust me with most of the things like electronic gadgets, TV, how to take care of that. At that time, we didn't have many gadgets, but most of the things, like, he trusted me more. And then of course I grew up. There was a interesting relationship, like fear of him as well as the ability to sort of be interested in his stories, listen to him a number of times, he'll repeat. So we had an interesting rapport. Yeah, I do miss him today when you talk about him.
So I want to throw this question. Let me hear what you're going to say. Is it a myth or is it a true that most of the families, or in most cases, you can see like a father likes a daughter better than son? Is it true? you know, because the one thing they hate, son and father, they have a fight most of the times, but daughter and father, not really. So what do you think?
Well, there's no such research that I've read, but yes, there's affection for daughters, especially because they themselves are, as we said, as we know, being a man, and because your organization talks about voice of men, they have different challenges. So having another boy, they feel like it's a tough nut, but a girl, they can pamper. They are not really that scared of being very strict, because culturally, traditionally, girls are softer. There's a special bond that father daughter begin to share, whereas with sons, of course, there's bond. Of course, I know most fathers dote on their sons, right? Nonetheless, it is like that's a naughty. Again, it's a cultural thing. Again, it's stereotype. Like, boys would be naughty, so you have to be firm and strict with them. But you can pamper girls. That sort of thing is there for sure.
No, thank you for the clarification. Of course, it's feel like well, in my case, I cannot really say because I lost my father when I was 1.5 years old. Even I don't see, I didn't see his face. So, but later on, people say this and that. You can see from father. Anyway, the one you said, your mom said, it's some of the things she can say. She can see the say exactly same thing from your father too. So it's whether we like it or not, it's whatever they come. Let's move on your professional world. So based on your experience, what are some of the challenges that our Asian, particularly Indian men face nowadays? What are the reasons behind that? That's what I really want to ask you.
Well, the challenges are largely related to the stereotypes, right? The stereotypes of the masculine uh, outer behavior that you need to show. And as you talk about that, like the masculine norm, and then the thought that the responsibilities lies on men. And culturally, if we look at Indian or any other South Asian community, there is this, that's a male dominated patriarchal society. So it is expected that the boy, the male child, takes care of parents. So there's an added responsibility. As a brother, you have to take care of the sister. As a son, you have to take care of your parents, because culturally the daughter gets married and goes to her husband's house. So there's responsibility. There's a role of being hard, being more you need to have strength, you need to have courage, you need to suck up your emotions, your feelings, don't express that. That's not what men do. So men play a stronger role. So that part is culturally more there in Asian, South Asian, and even Asian community. But honestly, when I'm dealing and meeting so many people, not only the people I work with, but even outside, and I see even there in North American culture, like some of my friends who come from the northern side of the country, they just remember that, Rima, we don't talk about feelings. All we know is that as men, you work like crazy, and then you go to the bar and drink as much as you can digest, or even more than that. And then when you fall, you just collapse after over drinking, then you are somewhere, somebody would drop you your home. So again, nobody talks about feelings. You just being alcoholic, they said, is pretty prevalent in that part of the country. So similarly, another person talks about hockey, like what are the competitiveness, the challenges. So you are right that as South Asian men, there are challenges that culture brings in. Nonetheless, I see it's prevalent in all patriarchal societies. Those challenges remain. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. I mean, most of the challenges or issues that it's very similar or same across the board. However, there are some differences between Asian men, especially Indian men, and other countries, especially the family settings, the family values,
Totally,
and
yeah.
cultural pressure, even social pressure, things too. Um, so, of course, we understand nowadays it's really hurting or really impacting everybody's life, not only the father or the son or the male or men in the family, but everybody. But how we can break those silence or stigma, whatever the barriers they have, especially the stereotype things, how we can break it even into similar parts, you know.
Hmm. That's such an important question, Sivam. How can we break that? So, breaking basically the cultural norms remain, however, with sort of globalization and Western impact, a lot of changes are happening. But what is it that we need to break? What we need to break is those rigid, masculine norms, those rigid standards or stereotypes, like for instance, men don't cry, right? That's something, like if you hear this dialogue in a movie, all of us across cultures know what the dialogue means, actually what is the interpretation. So those sort of stereotypes is what we need to talk about, and I see there are changes coming. Not everywhere, of course. Each family is different, each person is different, but then people are getting more and more aware of the the need to be there, emotionally present, engaged, being comforting, listening, and allowing their boys to be. However, to what extent, of course there's a question mark. So there is these strict gender roles that need to be identified. Gradually I see changes when both men and women are working. So men get into the gender role of they change. It's all diffusing, it's all getting mixed up. Who does laundry, who does cooking, sits with the children with the homework? I mean, that can be any of the partners. So things are gradually changing, but nonetheless, the stigma of you have to suck it up, the point that you can't be weak, those things have to be dealt with, because they have serious repercussions. Then they have an impact on the overall mental health of the individual. So I think there's that awareness needs to be there, and we need to have more conversations, like you are trying to have those conversations through your platform. Those conversations are important, and men need to come out and speak about, yes, I feel this. Yes, I'm not, I mean, I'm okay. It's okay to for me to feel sad or weak or scared, right? These are all the emotions which is there for with universally with across genders. Similarly, like tears are natural sort of response to hurt, to pain, to getting emotionally overwhelmed. That is not, nature has not specified it for genders, right? So it is the cultural and social backdrop that needs to be pinpointed, and probably our verbalizations, the words we use, the phrases we use to define or to explain the genders, that awareness needs to come.
Yes, absolutely. So that's why we are trying to create awareness about
Mhm.
men's issues. We try to bring as much as possible the guest from different walk of life or different ethnic groups, things like that, and then let them share their personal experiences as you are doing right now. At least one message or one line or the whole episode or the whole discussion can make some kind of positive impact in somebody's life. Listening this, they can relate to their situation, and then they don't want to hide anymore. They can seek for help. They don't feel shy or ashamed. Absolutely. So one thing I want to um, ask is that, let's say we are talking about especially the Indian men, cultural pressure, our family settings, things like that, values and everything, breaking the silence. But how do you think, as an individual, as an organization, as a family, as a society, even a government, how we can help them to support men in general? What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And I like the way you frame your question. You start with individual. Absolutely. The individual is the core, right? So if me as an individual am aware of my own needs, my own feelings, my own struggles, then probably I can seek help and talk about it and express it or set my boundaries or disagree with those social norms or the stereotypes, right? So there is that need to be aware, which can give courage or support to individuals to come out with their feelings and be accepting of their vulnerability. So individual part is there, but then I think that's the most sort of a difficult one to come up when there is no support. So as far as support is required, we need at least, like, a child grows up, and the initial few years of life are pretty detrimental, although even in later parts of life one does get sort of emotionally impacted, but the initial years have have the sort of tendency to create the idea of self. One as a child, one internalizes it, whatever is happening, absorbs the situation, the environment, the psychological environment of the family. So at the family level, if there is that sort of emotional awareness first of the parents, only then they can be available for their children. So that sort of understanding, that whatever we are expecting from our child, the impact it has on their growth, on their feelings, on their emotions, that is something which looks basic, but it can have very deep impact on a sense of safety, security, and confidence in any child, especially when we are talking about boys. So if as a boy somebody bullies me, and which is a very common thing, say, and even in elementary school, leave aside middle and high school, and my father or mother says that you're a boy, you won't get scared, go and hit him back if he hit you or if he said a nasty thing to you. So unknowingly, I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm not at the moment giving a talk on how one should parent such conflicts, but if this is what the child learns, the message he's getting, that violence is okay and violence is a sign of manhood, right? You're a boy, how can you take that? You have to hit back, you have to answer back, you can't get scared, etc. So all the other things that crop up with time, they come with these childhood messages which we get. So family certainly plays an important role. And how would they learn? There are two ways that family can learn. In our community, in any society, leave aside whether it's India, Canada, Sri Lanka, any part of the world, an individual grows up in, of course, family, then the little child goes to school. So these are two things. But as parents, as family, what who are the agencies, the main agencies that we are in contact with. And what I feel is that the main agencies are the health agency. We all have regular checkups. We have our, family doctor. We have, even children have something or the other, then we take them to doctors. One is the health system, and the other is the education system, the school. So awareness of the doctors in dealing with the mental health or emotional health aspect of children. Similarly, awareness of school. School has a capacity, huge capacity, of creating programs, of creating conversations. The school guidance counselors, social workers, and even teachers, that can be part of the curriculum to talk about equity and gender diversity, and how these gender norms or roles need to be sort of diffused and taken care of. That sensitive handling can happen at school level. So those two things I feel are really impactful as far as family and the outside society part is concerned.
Absolutely. It's a good, very good explanations. One thing I want to also add on that, because of course it has to be started in the family setting or family circle. At the same time, schools the second place. But even organizations like us, we do have responsibilities, and the government, of course, even though this government or that government is adding or allocating a lot of millions of dollars for mental health, but end of the day, we don't know what's going on with that. It's very sad,
Right.
especially men's organizations. They don't really get a lot of support. Yeah, we can see a lot of homeless people in Toronto or even in London, things like that. But anyway, what I have two more questions before we take off. So I just want to quickly share a couple of things, and then I will come back to you. Okay, give me a few minutes. So what we are actually watching is that Open Up show. It's on a Sunday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern time. This is our regular weekly podcast. You can listen on any social media, and also this is we do in Tamil too. That's in Sundays, of course, and 8 a.m. in the morning Eastern time. And also we have a monthly men's group meeting only for men by men. Second Saturday of every month from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Eastern time through Zoom. No recordings. Please join through Zoom. The link is available on our Facebook page and group. There are no limitations to gender, age, nationality, or ethnic groups. All walks of life can participate in any of our shows. If you want to be a guest on any of our shows or willing to be part of our organizations and help us directly or indirectly, please reach out to us. We would love to work with individuals, professionals, experts, community organizations, associations, corporations, government officials, and businesses. The phone number is 226 289 8784. 226 289 8784. And the email address is info at voiceoman360.org. Website www.voiceoman360.org. Of course, you can find us on all social media, Facebook group and page. Please join our Facebook group, Voiceoman 360, so you can see our daily, weekly, monthly activities. Other social media platforms are Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Voiceoman 360, so you can see there are over 400 episodes on various topics. You can watch it and also comment, share your feedback. We want to reach out more people to help more. Please continue your support. Thank you. So come back to you, Rima. The therapy support service that you are actually the founder. Can you share more details? What kind of service? How do you help your clients, please?
Yes, of course. So we provide, with me and my small team to begin with, we provide services to individuals, to groups, to educational institutions and small corporate organizations. So we provide mental health services largely virtually so that we can reach more and more people. And you know how convenient virtual therapy or virtual meeting like what we are doing right now is, that we none of us have to go anywhere or travel anywhere, and we can do it from our space. So we provide virtual psychotherapy, and we also sort of use the client centered, culturally sensitive, and collaborative approach with our clients to help them reach their goals, whatever they need to figure out through therapy. And as you know, 1 in 5 people, that's a global statistic, they suffer from mental illness. So even if we don't have a diagnosed mental illness, but the struggles, the stresses of life, the conflicts, which after trying to, talk to friends, talk to family, after trying my own coping mechanisms, when I'm not able to deal with it, that's the time to seek professional help. And we have a diverse team of therapists in our group, and we provide services besides English in Hindi, Punjabi, Romanian, and we are here to support all those people who really are, we have immediate availability, so there's not a waiting line. And the idea is to reach to maximum people. We also provide monthly free webinars and talk about topics that are of major concern, and psychoeducation, advocacy for mental health. That's our primary goal, because I think all of us deserve to take care of that. And there's no competition between whether mind is more important or body is more important. Mind and body are completely related. There's so much research to show that all our physical illnesses have the basis in stress and our mental patterns and negative feelings, and that we hold on in our body. So it is so important that we are aware. It is so important that we are taking care of our mental health. And that's why we are reaching out through groups, through advocacy programs, and of course through intervention. So intervention, prevention, advocacy, psychoeducation, this is all we are trying to reach out through our website, therapysupports.com. And for anything else, any other questions, feel free to reach out. We all deserve to feel good and stay happy and stay in control of our emotions.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for sharing those and an amazing work you guys see, and you and your team works. You know, we don't want to just sit back and then do nothing or do this and that. At least if we have a team of people, we can do a lot of things. So the contact information, actually, the therapysupports.com, and also the email address is contact at therapysupports.com, and then the phone number is 647 964 3669. Again, 647 964 3669, and the email address is contact at therapysupports.com. So you can reach out to her, their team, and then you can check out their website to learn more about that. But I want to just to finish off with one question, Rima. We always, especially men, we do have this challenge, which is the verbalizing emotional challenge.
Mm.
What's a simple way, or well, it's not simple, but what are some of the simple technique, or some simple ways to navigate that challenge from your experience, Rima?
Yeah, so it's important to be aware. The problem comes when we deny, no, I'm not. I have to be strong, I am inside feeling scared. I'm inside feeling worried. Suppose I have immigrated to a new country. I've come with my family. There is fear, but I'll have to show up as strong. So just recognizing that, yes, I'm feeling scared, just recognizing, yes, I'm feeling angry with someone or I'm jealous of someone, that helps me to process my emotions. When I identify my discomfort, it becomes easier for me, to be vulnerable, easier for me to accept myself. Suppose I say something rude to you or someone else, and then I start denying that no, he deserved it. He said something, I had to answer back. Now that's not staying with my feeling. If I sit back and notice I was rude, yes, but what did I feel when I was rude? Was it hurt? Was it insult? Was it embarrassment? Was it fear? Was it anger? Whatever. Then one can be aware, and it'll be easy for me to accept that, okay, Rima, you have you had those feelings, and that's why you behaved this way. I can forgive myself. I can connect to my emotions. Being aware is the first step. Second step is talking about it, doing something about it. And the one biggest self care tip, if you want, in the end, is be kind to yourself. How many times do we really judge ourselves in our head? How many times we are so harsh? You are not allowed, Rima, to make mistake. Shiva, you are not allowed to make mistake. How could you do that? So we are hard with ourselves. The more we are aware of what's going inside, how I need to be compassionate to myself, it'll become so easy to be compassionate to others. They say charity begins at home. I say everything begins from me. So if I am kind to myself, it is easier for me to forgive others. It is easier for me to forgive myself, and more peace and harmony would prevail if I stay calm. And remember, seeking help when I am trying all my own methods, not avoiding it and actually facing it, but trying every help is not helping me. I'm still in the same pattern of discomfort. Then it's important to seek professional help. And that's a sign of wisdom. That's not a sign of being crazy.
Absolutely. Thank you with those closing remarks or the key, the important part of this whole episode is that recognizing or being aware of the situation, realizing, accepting that the fact or the suffering or the challenge that I am going through. It's let's face it, or if I need the help, I can seek help. No need to shame or feel shame. So one thing is that at the end of the day, we are human being. So it's okay to be feel not okay. So ups and down is very normal. So we can learn from that. So thank you, Rima, for joining and then sharing, your life experience and also giving some sort of, important details or some techniques to help people out there, especially men, whoever is listening. Um, please seek for help and then come forward. And then even if you want to share your life journey, please reach out to us, on Facebook or any other social media. Thank you, Rima, for joining.
Thank
And
you
then
so much. Thank
thank
you
you.
for inviting me. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks. So today we had an episode with Rima Sehgal about her life experiences, and then she shared a lot of information worthwhile. Of course, you can check it out, her website, and then their team, and then their services. So see you next time, and then please continue your support, and then we will be coming back, reaching out to you guys with the 150 show next week. So stay tuned. Okay, thank you. See you later. Thanks.